What's up? It's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and man, just take that sigh of relief, because man, USA pulled out that 1-0 win against El Salvador. It was very close. I don't want to say El Salvador really had a chance, but it was definitely nervy when you're watching the game. But then, in the end, the team pulled through, and it was a pretty good win. And honestly, I feel like the team was set up pretty well. The pressing, it was nice to see that done for a couple windows in a row. I really did like the pressing that we were showing. Midfield was a bit congested towards the beginning of the game, but things got better as the game went on. The slow start is a little bit worrying. We have been starting really slow throughout the entire game, but honestly, I don't really get it from any tactical perspective. I mean, come out pressing early, I feel like that was a good idea. Go after an El Salvador team that might not be ready for this game. Okay, I like that. And then go into a more calming, dominating possession, make some chances. But yeah, just didn't pick up that goal. But we did in the second half, and I mean, being a second half team, it's a bit scary, but I think we're going to qualify at this rate, so that's a bit of a weight off the shoulder. It's not official yet, but I think we're almost there. Going into individual players for this game, I feel like there were a couple of positives, three main guys, and all on the right side of the field today. Sergiño, Dest, Weah, and Weston McKennie were the three stars of the show today. Sergiño Dest, I think he had his best defensive performance, at the very least, for the national team that I've ever seen. He was doing a great job on that right-hand side. He was put into a lot of 1v1 situations, and he held his own the entire time. That's something that's been missing on Sergiño's Dest game, and especially with him not playing much at Barcelona, I wasn't really expecting it. But man, he showed out, had a really nice game, very good going forward as well, and a really strong performance by Sergiño Dest. Weah, probably my man of the match. He was looking very good, very dangerous, especially for him just coming off the injury. Man, there was a time, I think it was just after the Panama game, where I was really questioning if Weah should even be in this team. But he has shown why he should be in this team, and then some. Man, made the chance that the goal ended up being scored from. He was our main attacking outlet with his athleticism, his goal-scoring ability, all of his instincts. They were all very good. His ball-playing ability also. There were a couple of triangles that he played, especially early in the game, that looked really good. And Weah, this is a performance that I was really looking forward for him, and he showed it. I wasn't even sure if he should start because, him coming off that injury, but great performance again. And Weston McKennie, man, he was in form for a reason. He is taking a claim that he might be the best American player right now. At least on form, he definitely is. Really energetic, connecting play very well, making chances, a lot of really crisp passes, some great long balls. Weston McKennie doing everything you want out of midfield today. Defensive work very solid as well. Very good in transition, just a great performance from him. Now, some other guys who I feel like was positive. Matt Turner didn't do anything wrong today. He claimed one shot. I think that was all he had to do. The free kick, he could have easily parried that, but he caught that free kick. The one that came in kind of low, I think, was bouncing as well. I don't think that's easy to do, but it's not particularly hard. But he didn't make any mistakes today, and he had a couple of decent passes with his feet, even one with his left foot, which was pretty nice. And his distribution was pretty good. It was mostly with his hands, but he was making some chances happen. So, very good performance by Matt Turner today. And Tyler Adams, he's kind of a borderline positive. He had a really nice start to the game. He was connecting play well, and defensively, he was on point today. Really solid defensively, putting out a lot of attacks by El Salvador. But he was making a lot of mistakes possession, gave the ball away a bit too much. Should have really had a couple of chances for El Salvador if they were a better team. But I think he still did enough to be a positive for today. Now going on to guys who I feel like are more neutral. Yunus Musah, I would have liked to see a bit more from him. He didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't do much to get on the ball. I feel like Jamaica was kind of Jamaica, sorry, I was thinking about that game. But El Salvador, they were kind of forcing us to go down the right-hand side, which kind of played into our strengths. But Musah, Pulisic, they didn't get as involved as they would have liked to. I feel like Musah could have done a bit more to get involved, but every time he touched the ball was pretty good, though, so I'm not even going to consider putting him as a negative. For our center backs, they had what I like to call 2010 good. And what I mean by that is very solid defensively, good job. We weren't really threatened for goals all the time. Defensively, very solid. Chris Richards and Walker Zimmerman, both good performances. But on the ball, not too good. Chris Richards was making a bunch of safe decisions, which is understandable, but with his talent on the ball, I would have liked to see him try to break some lines with his passing or maybe attempt to just make something happen. A lot of the times when the ball would come to him, he'd just go back to Matt Turner, which wasn't really doing much for us offensively. And Walker Zimmerman, he was actively hurting us on the ball. El Salvador was, as I mentioned before, they were kind of forcing the ball down the right-hand side. I don't know if they identified Zimmerman's on-the-ball ability as a weakness or if they just wanted to keep it away from Pulisic or Musah, but he was giving the ball away too much. He was looking better than the Jamaica game, but it's still a weakness of his game. The improvement's why I don't have him as a negative or anything like that, but that is something that he really needs to get better at. And honestly, at this point, I don't know why he's in over Miles Robinson, because he's on the ball. Defensively, he's not better than Miles, so if he's not doing anything on the ball, I'd really rather have Robinson there. He does step up and play that stopper position pretty well, but like coming into break up counterattacks, but Chris Richards does that just as well, and I don't know, I feel like Robinson would have been better for him. And speaking of Robinsons, Antonee Robinson, better second half, scored the goal for us. That's obviously huge. You're never going to put somebody negative when they score a winner, but he did not have a great first half. His crossing ability needs to improve. Just him in the final third in general has to get better because we're attacking through our wingbacks so much, and they need to be consistently threatening with their passes. Sergiño Dest was today, and if Robinson isn't able to do that, well, he's not going to lose his spot. We didn't even call up another left back, but it's going to start hurting us if he isn't able to improve. Maybe not having competition is a thing for him, but man, especially with him in that position, we don't really have any other left-footed players. You might not have another left-footed player in this camp. I can't think of one off the top. Luca De La Torre's in this camp, actually. But Luca De La Torre is probably not going to be playing fullback, so Antonee Robinson, he's really going to need to step up. He did have a lot better of a second half, was looking very good, but you want to see that more consistent play from him. Now, only two players I have in a real negative, and Jesus Ferreira, I don't want to talk too much about him because on one hand, he was played out of position, and when he did drop into the midfield, he was combining pretty well. I'm not sure because I haven't seen the scorecard. I think he had the assist on the goal. He headed it across the box to Antonee Robinson, but you have to finish those chances. You're a striker, and if you're not scoring, that is an issue, and he's not somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't feel like this team works well with the false nine. So I'm going to get to that a bit later for the more tactical side of things. But yeah, not great there. And Pulisic did not have a good performance. His set pieces got better as time went on. I don't feel like he's a set piece specialist. So I don't even want to be too critical of him because we don't really have anybody who's good at that. So him stepping up to do something he's not comfortable with, as we know from watching him at Chelsea, you're not going to be too critical of him for that. But today he wasn't doing well. Wasn't able to get on the ball too much. I don't even think he was really being marked out of the game. Ball wasn't coming his way, and he wasn't doing enough to get onto it. And I feel like he should have been doing a bit more. But I don't know, not the greatest performance today from Pulisic. For the subs, who was first? Brenden Aaronson didn't get to do too much. Had a couple good moments. His energy's amazing. You will always love to see him running around, but didn't get to do too much. Gyasi Zardes had a couple of good flick-ons with his head, but maybe could have scored a goal if his first touch was a bit better. But not really. You can't really have enough to rate any of the subs. They didn't get too much of a chance. Jordan Morris, again, not too much. One decent ball to Weston McKennie, and Kellyn Acosta, not too much at the end. So you can't really rate any of the substitutes. I feel like the substitutions were good enough. Brenden Aaronson coming on for Pulisic was the right decision. Getting Tim Weah off when he's not 100%, you need to do that. Towards the end of the game, bringing on Kellyn Acosta, I'm fine there. Gyasi Zardes shouldn't really be in the team in my opinion, but didn't actively hurt the team, which is a lot better than his previous outing for the national team, so that's an improvement. But overall, pretty good game. I mean, some good performances, only poor ones in the attack. So, yeah, decent game by us. I think this might be a controversial statement, but I feel like we really could have used John Brooks this game. We know how good he is on the ball, and El Salvador really wasn't threatening in behind. So his weakness of speed, that's not something that would have hurt us. And I really feel like John Brooks would have helped out because Chris Richards gets better if you put in John Brooks because Richards isn't a left-footed player. He's playing that left-footed center back role, which not unnaturally he does that at Hoffenheim as well, but it's not his best position. And I feel like he'd be a lot better on the ball if you put him on that right-hand side. And I don't know. I feel like John Brooks really would have helped this game. Just throwing that out there. Some other tactical things. I don't feel like us attacking through the fullbacks is the best option for us. Antonee Robinson's not... He's good, but in terms of our attacking players, he's probably the weakest on the ball. So I wouldn't have the end goal be him putting in a cross. And putting in crosses in general, our team's not that big. I don't feel like putting in crosses is the best idea. And I really would have liked to see, at least today, I'd like to see our wingers in that wide position and have them be the guys who get the ball, dribble at the opponent, and attack. Because Tim Weah was doing pretty well, but Pulisic wasn't able to get involved as much. And I would have rather have Christian Pulisic in the positions that Antonee Robinson was throughout the game. I feel like the false nine, I would try to clean that up because I don't feel like we should be playing with that. The midfield was almost congested. We had so many players in there. I feel like playing with 4-2-3-1 probably would have been better today because Adams dropping into the midfield wasn't really doing much, like dropping in between the center backs. That wasn't helping too much. And it forced Musah basically into like a position where the fullback would traditionally be because Antonee Robinson was pushing further up the field. I don't feel like that's the best idea. I feel like a 4-2-3-1 would have really helped us today, but hey, a win's a win, so you can't be too critical. Man, I really think that there are a lot of positives in this game. The pressing was doing very well. I feel like the lineup was pretty good. I would have liked to see Ricardo Pepi, but that's basically it. I mean, Ricardo Pepi, Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, they're kind of interchangeable to me. So I liked seeing Chris Richards. I liked everything in the attack aside from Ferreira, but it was still a very good team, a very good performance. Like I think that a lot of this comes down to the players needing to execute better, which, listen, I'm not a fan of Gregg Berhalter, but at some point you have to say, Adams, you need to clean up your mistakes. Pulisic, you got to get more involved. Richards, you need to break lines with your passes a bit better. Like, at some point we need to start holding the players a bit more accountable because do I like this manager and want him replaced? Yes, but at the same time, like, you do have to show out. That Jamaica game, like, that wasn't anything that Berhalter, well, the substitutes, but you couldn't really do much about Tyler Adams having a poor game, and Weston McKennie, he wasn't in that great of form then. But now, like, we really got to show out. We really have to have these players show how talented they are, because it's going to be a tough race. I feel like our goal right now, like, we got to get to the top spot, which probably, like, I feel like we're good for qualifying, but at this point, let's just make it a goal, get to the top spot, have these players show how good they are, have them show CONCACAF who's boss, and just go for it. But still, win's a win. Love the 3 points. Yeah, that's all I'll talk right now. See ya.